There's no shortage of uncertainty during a pandemic, particularly when it comes to our household finances and our incomes. You got to make sure that every dollar is counting these days. How do we actually do that? Let's bring in Barry Choi. He's a personal finance expert and he's author of the website moneywehav.com. Barry, thanks so much for joining us. I know these are hard times for a lot of people, but there are strategies that we can employ to make sure we're using our money wisely. What are some of your top tips?
You know what? Number one tip has to be pay down debt. I don't know about you, Greg, but I recently got all my Christmas bills, and I was actually shocked at how much I spent. So, what I recommend to people is make sure you're paying down debt. For those people at home who don't know this, but your credit cards charge about 20% interest, which is insane when you think about it. So if you're holding on to a balance, it's going to be very difficult to get ahead when you're constantly paying interest over time. So the easiest way to pay down that debt is to divert as much money as possible to any outstanding bills that you have. Alternatively, if your bank or your financial institution allows you to get a line of credit with a lower interest rate, you can use that loan to pay down existing debt. Of course, that's another loan you're getting, so you got to make sure you don't touch it and get into that debt cycle.
Yeah, use that as sort of the consolidation, because credit card debt, we know, can be pretty challenging. If you get a lower interest rate loan, then that makes a lot of sense. Also, it's an important time, too, when people feel overwhelmed by, their commitments. Take a look at your bills, sort of review where the money is going, right?
Yeah, so this is something I recommend to people do every single year. Usually January is the easiest time. Me personally, I got my home insurance bill last week, and I was looking at it, and it looked about right. But then I compared it to last year. And even though it only went up $43, it was a 13% increase on my home insurance, which is kind of crazy because nothing's happened. I've been at home the entire year. Yeah, my bills are going up 13%. To me, that's just ridiculous. Like, honestly, I'm not going to call about $40, but when I compare it to my other insurance, like my business insurance, then I'm going to be like, hey, can I make changes? Should I call it to find out if I can get it reduced? The same thing applies to like my cell phone bill and my internet. Right now, I'm not paying for my gym membership. I'll be honest with you. I'm enjoying having $60 back in my pocket every single month. And as far as subscriptions are concerned, I've decided to cut out my HBO Max because I had 3 different streaming services and I was just spending way too much money.
I think that's key, right? When we think about, what we're calling subscription creep, because whatever it was, maybe it was a decade ago, and I signed up for Netflix. It was $10. I thought that's a good deal, and now I have a whole handful of subscriptions.
It just keeps going up and up every single year, right?
Pretty soon we're going to get to the point with cable, right? It's just going to be all bundled together. We just bundle our services together. Someone's going to get on top of that. Also, some people might be overlooking the fact that when it comes to your credit cards and these loyalty cards, there might be some, not points, maybe even some products that you can cash in there.
Yeah, so with loyalty programs and credit cards, it's a very easy way to take advantage of savings if you're smart about it. So, one loyalty program I like to talk about is PC Optimum, just because I use it all the time. I shop at Lovelots own stores. I shop at Shoppers Drug Mart, and I get my gas from Esso. And the point I'm trying to make here is that they all take the same loyalty program. So every single time I make a purchase, I'm getting points. Eventually, what I do with these points is I cash them in for free merchandise. And when I pay with my credit card, I earn additional points. So it doesn't matter where you shop. Find out if there's a loyalty program where you can earn and redeem, or take a look at your credit cards. Can you earn cash back? Can you earn travel points? Obviously, no one's traveling right now, but if you can get something back with all your purchases, it's worth it. But the key thing to understand is that you don't want to go into debt. We've already talked about this. As long as you're paying your bills and using your cards responsibly, you can get something out of it.
Now we're stuck at home for the most part. We have access to all this technology. One place that I know is very interesting. It's it's interesting. It catches my attention. It's very easy too. Spend a lot of money online without having to go anywhere. Just click, click, click. And that can get out of control for some people.
This happened to me yesterday. I don't know if you can relate to this. So yesterday I was shaving with my electric razor, and then like one of the razor blades just popped out, and I was like, oh, I should buy another replacement cartridge right now. So I go to Amazon and I'm literally about to click buy because it's instant, right? And then I stopped for a second. I was like, you know what? How badly do I need this? And what I decided to do is I just stopped. I went to sleep. And when I woke up, I realized I don't actually need this replacement cartridge that bad. It's still working. But in my head, I was just like, oh, I haven't replaced it in a while. So what I'm trying to get at is people at home should think about what they're shopping and now try to avoid those one-click purchases. Sleep on it if you can. And even if you're going to make purchases, be smart. There are apps out there such as Reebok that allows you to compare prices at different grocery stores and retailers so you can find out what the lowest price is. There's also cashback websites such as Rakuten, where when you make a purchase online, you're getting cash back right into your pocket. So there's a lot of smart things you can do to put money back into your wallet.
Now, I'm a big fan when it comes to savings, and obviously some people are in a situation where that might be a bit further down the road if they're under pressure right now. But when it comes to those savings, a little bit, set it and forget it, right? Just automate everything.
Yeah, so my parents taught me this. They always tell me, hey, pay yourself first, set aside some money, and then you're always saving. But, unfortunately, my generation, what we're used to is, spend all your money first. And if you have any money left over at the end of the month, then save it. For most of my peers, that's no money left over at the end of the month, which is very unfortunate. So I want to get people to go back to paying themselves first. And what I mean by that is, set aside $25 a month, hopefully make it automatic where it comes out of your checking account and goes right into a savings account. You won't even notice that money missing. And slowly over time, if you increase it a little by little every single month, eventually you'll be saving a fair amount of money. And then at the end of the year, you're just banking it. And hopefully it's going towards your TFSA or your RRSP. So you're constantly working towards a goal.
Here, before we let you go, Barry, here's something that my grandparents lived by and drilled into me. You do not waste food. Food's expensive.
Yeah, so one interesting stat I read recently is the average family of four wastes $1,100 in food waste every single year. That's insane when you think about it. So what I tell people is to plan your meal. So, every weekend, Saturday or Sunday, write out every single thing you plan on eating for the week. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks. So this way, when you do your grocery shopping, you're only buying what you need. And that avoids food waste. Now, some people will say, and I've had my brother who lives alone, some of my peers who don't have kids, they're always concerned. It's like, I buy these groceries, Barry, and I still can't use them in time because there's just too little of us. And what I've done recently, it was recommended, is like, I don't know if you've ever looked into those meal kit delivery services. Chefsplate.com, basically you order the meals and they deliver things to you individually portioned. So you cook it yourself, but there's no food waste at the end. So you're actually saving money in the long run.
Interesting stuff. I have the opposite problem. I got two teenage sons. They're like locusts some days and what they just destroy in my food.
Yeah, you're
Barry,
right.
pleasure speaking with you.
Probably very high anytime.
Yeah, we run out before the next shop. Barry Choi is a personal finance expert, the author of the website Money We Have